What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Landaris back at you with another video. Hey, just finished up this yard right here. I'm going to talk to you guys about something. So, what do you think is going to happen when you don't put any fertilizer on here, winterizer fertilizer? You don't do the necessary steps to kind of keep this lawn looking lush and plush and green like this, So, this customer, and this is not her, but this is what what tends to happen with customers from time to time. They get the new sod put down. It looks good. It looks nice. It's green. It's lush. But she's gonna have to attend to that area right there because put a couple of sod pieces right here because it's dying out. It's not. You could try to get it to come back, but it might not. But we'll see. But in order to get that to come back, you got to put some grass seed down. You got to put some fertilizer down, and you got to kind of give it some attention right there to try to get it back. If you don't put sod back down, right? So, but that's here nor there. This particular yard and yards like this with customers, once they get this down, they don't want to pay the prices to keep it looking like this. See, it costs to keep it looking like this. See this? It's just green. It costs to keep it looking like this. So she likes to keep hers cut on high because she says she likes the way it looks when it's thickness and all that. So that's fine and dandy, but at certain times you gotta cut this a little bit lower and keeping it like that. It's good to have it this high in the hot weather, but at some point you gotta cut this down a little bit. But we'll do what the customer wants for now. But yeah, what I'm trying to get at is when you present your prices as far as aeration, overseeding, fertilizer, and they see a 500 ticket, 550, 475, $500 ticket in order to do all these things, they freak out. They look at it and say, man, that's expensive. Because most of the time I have to try to explain to my customers, like, hey, these things that I'm doing to your yard, this is the benefits. This is what this does. Aeration. If you don't know what aeration is, I'm going to explain it to you. And you got to explain it to the customer sometime because they just think you're just plugging holes. They didn't do any research or look up things about aeration. They probably looked at to see how much aeration cost than what the benefits of aeration is. So they're more worried about the cost than getting the service done and what the service would do to your lawn instantly. So you have to explain to your customer, hey, aeration is plugging holes into your lawn, which oxygenates the dirt, gets the oxygen down there, gets the minerals down there, and the fertilizer, the minerals, the grass seed. It's able to oxygenate the root system. It's able to break up that compacted dirt that doesn't allow the nutrients and the rain to seep down into the soil to give you a better root system with your grass. So you got to explain it to them, the benefits of that. Aeration is one of the most important things that you can do to your yard in the beginning and at the end of the season, because we've been running 500, 600, 1,000, 1,200 pounds on top of your grass and dirt, and we're ripping it, things like that, and we're stressing it out, and we're running it over and doing all these things. So that's what aeration does. It breaks up the compaction of the soil, especially here in Missouri. We got that clay soil, so it gets hard. One, then it opens up where those holes, depending on how deep the hose is, those root systems are going to travel where those holes at, and it's going to give oxygen down there to that layer. That way, the moisture, the water, the rain, the snow, all that'll seep down, and then it'll give it another layer of moistness. It gives it another layer of where the root systems can travel to give it a better root system. I'm probably getting too much into it, but a lot of you guys know what aeration is, but sometimes you have to explain it to your customers. So when they ask you overseeding, why overseed? How much seed should you put down? Depending on, how much you want to overseed it, Each year you overseed it. You can use a 25-pound bag, depending on how big your yard is. If you want to use a 50-pound bag, it's even better. So, but when you tell them the price of the seed and stuff like that, they can't believe that you're charging that much for seed. And I always let them know, hey, it's just not me grabbing the seed for you, which I have to pay for. I pay for the seed. I go pick it up. I'm wasting gas to pick it up. A delivery fee you can add on to for picking it up. Now you're using your machine. You're charging for the machine. You're charging for the spreader, and you're charging for your labor. You know what I mean? You just don't charge for the machine. You got to put your labor in there too. The machine is what's doing the work, and then you're also doing the work too. So your labor and for the machine, you can combine that together. Whatever you charge for your labor and the charge to use your aerator. Just because you own the aerator don't mean you still don't charge for it. You can still charge a flat fee baked into your price of using this equipment. Every piece of equipment that you use, you should be charging for. Whether it's $15, $10 for a rake, $5, $7 for the rake, shovel. You should be incorporating that into your invoice or your final invoice and stuff. So you let them know that, hey, the seed is to replenish and replenish the grass seed, so that you can get fresh new grass. They, go into the cracks and the crannies and where you kind of tore up the grass and things like that. You're repairing the grass. You're giving the grass a chance to more grass a chance to grow in that area. So when sometimes you damage grass at the end of the year, you fix that. You know what I mean? And that's with overseeding. Fertilizing. Winterizing fertilizer. You got to tell them, hey, you should put down a winterizing fertilizer so that over the winter time, your grass is still going to get nutrients. Your grass is still going to grow underneath the soil. And then once spring hit, it's going to pop up. It's going to be green, So you got to let customers know all this, because they get like this yard right here. Look at this yard. Same thing. All these are new homes. See how nice and green that is? Same thing with the yard that I'm doing. See how nice and green? That's because they got new sod around here. But in order to keep that, you got to put in the work and pay for the stuff. So when you give them a $500 ticket, a $550 ticket, hey, that's just the cost of at the end of the year to make sure that your grass is going to be nice and green. Your curb appeal is going to look nice. So when you got that green grass like that, the curb appeal looks even better. Look at the curb appeal. The curb appeal, like, look at it. You know, new bushes, new mulch, green grass. The curb appeal looks good. So in order to continue to let this grass or have this grass to look good like this, for when they first put the sod down, you have to aerate it, you got to overseed it, you got to fertilize it. There's no way around it. Otherwise, over the summers, the soil is going to get compacted. You know, you're not watering it enough. Even when you water it, it's not getting really down to the roots. It's not saturating the soil deep enough to enrich the soil. It's a lot of things that play its part at the end of the year when you fertilize it, overseed it, and aerate it. And I can't stress it enough, but, you know, I get it. Sometimes people, you know, they don't have that $500 or $550 to do all that, and I would say that I'm in the mid range of pricing. You know, there's other big companies, they're charging for what I'm doing. They're probably charging $1,200, $1,400, $1,500, $1,800, and that's only due to the fact that they got bigger overhead, more employees, things like that. So as a solo guy, you know, with my own equipment, I could come in, and I'm not trying to be cheap, but I will be cheaper than the big companies due to the fact that it's just only me, and my overhead is not like that. So like theirs, where they have to charge a higher premium base rate, labor, things like that to cover their costs, because they're a bigger company, they got more overhead, and they got more employees they got to pay for. So I might be in that mid-range, probably half, maybe, but I'm charging between $500 to $550 for aeration, overseeding, and putting down a winterizing fertilizer on properties that want that service. And sometimes you run into people that'd be like, "Oh, okay, there's no problem with the price." They'd be like, "Oh, okay, $550, yeah, let's do it. Put me on the schedule and get it done." $550, $560 roll around, they pay it, and it's like, wow, you know. Now, if you check out some of my other videos, that whole $550 is not yours, because remember, you went out and paid for the fertilizer, and you paid for the grass seed, and depending on if you own your aerator, you got to pay for that for what it costs to your payments on it and things like that. So once you figure out that price and deduct the what you pay for the seed fertilizer, then you can kind of see what your profit is from that. So I mean, on each ticket, if I'm charging about $550 for aeration, overseeding, and fertilizer, you know, I'm probably going to go out and spend out of my pocket probably let's just say around $200 on grass seed and fertilizer and stuff. So I'm going to profit me at least around at least $300, you know, taking out the gas and stuff like that. Probably $300 I'm going to be able to put in my pocket, at least three something in my pocket. So try to explain to your customers the benefits of aerations and overseeding. You ain't got to shove it down their throat, but say, hey, maybe next year or next summer you might want to consider doing it because it's only going to help your grass and benefit your curb appeal and things like that. And it's just going to be beneficial to the property and your lawn, you know. So, all right, guys. My day is done. It's supposed to storm today, or tonight, later today, tonight. I could kind of tell it's getting windy out here. The clouds are covering. So let me get out of here, and I'll see you on the next video. Don't forget to subscribe.